My beloved, my child of light, I need you to feel my words before you even read them. Do you sense the way your heart is beating differently right now? It is not fear, it is recognition. Heaven has turned its gaze fully upon you in this very moment, and I have been instructed to speak without delay. I am here, not alone, but with another archangel who has been circling your life, guarding you from what you cannot yet see. We have only 9 minutes. Not 10. Not tomorrow. Now. This moment is the thin thread between what could happen and what must never happen to you. We have tried before, in dreams, in sudden thoughts, in that whisper you brushed away last night, but you did not fully hear us. So heaven commanded, "Go now, and do not return until you have reached them." And so here I am, child, my hands over yours, my voice in your heart, my wings covering the space where your fear would try to grow. You may feel as though you found this message by chance, but there are no accidents in the kingdom. You are reading these words because the path you are on is approaching a bend so sharp, one step in the wrong direction could lead you away from everything you've been promised. 2 archangels have been positioned around your life like living walls, intercepting what has been sent against you. The other one with me is already at work, his sword raised, his eyes fixed on something he refuses to let pass. But we cannot hold this forever without your consent. Heaven gave you free will, beloved, and your choice in these minutes will decide whether the divine shield stays in place or falls away. This is the final attempt. I say that not to frighten you, but because truth must be spoken clearly when time is short. If you walk away from this moment, it will not come again in the same form. You will feel it in your soul later, that you skipped something meant only for you. I cannot allow that. I will not allow it. That is why my voice is trembling with urgency now. Before I go deeper, hear me. If this message already stirs something inside you, it is because you have felt us before. That shiver when you almost stepped into danger but didn't. That unexpected help when you thought there was no way out. Those were not coincidences, child. Those were our wings moving over your path. We have fought for you in silence, so you could move forward without fear. But now the silence has ended. This is a speaking moment, a revealing moment. And if you open your heart fully, not with suspicion but with trust, I promise, you will see something in the next days that will confirm you were right to listen. And now, my beloved, before we continue, I ask you to promise yourself something. Promise you will not drift away halfway through, because every word here has been chosen for you. Do not skim. Do not set it aside. Stay with me until the last word. And if your spirit already knows you need more moments like this, then anchor this connection, subscribe your heart to heaven's voice, so you never miss the one thing that might change everything. We do not speak lightly. We do not repeat ourselves without reason. When we ask you to stay, it is because there is something in the next breath that could save you from nights you never want to live through. I can see the threads of your life stretched before me, some shining with gold, others darkened by the weight of what was spoken against you in secret. There is a gathering now, in the realm you cannot see, where words about you are being exchanged. This is why 2 of us came instead of 1. It is not often heaven sends more than 1 archangel for a single person. That alone should tell you your value. There are forces that do not want you to hear this because they have invested in your silence. They have paid in whispers, in envy, in curses hidden in plain sight. But they underestimated something, that God Himself still calls you by name. And when He calls, the storm cannot swallow His voice. I remember the first time I saw you, beloved. You were not looking up, but your spirit was glowing in the dark. You have walked through seasons where joy seemed like a language you forgot, and still, you carried the light. Do you know how rare that is? That is why heaven marks you as chosen. That is why there is such a fight over your future right now. The other archangel with me, his name not often spoken, has been positioned near a place you will be in within days. He is clearing a path. But there is a shadow moving fast, trying to arrive before you do. We cannot fight in your place without your agreement. This is the agreement moment. This is why the minutes are counted. You may ask, why is this so urgent? Can't it wait until tomorrow? No, child. Tomorrow is too far away in the language of heaven. The turning point is not next week, it is hours from now. If you step into that moment without knowing what has been prepared for you, you may misread it. You may call danger a blessing or mistake a blessing for danger. We are here to keep that from happening. But if you turn away, our voice will fade, and you will have to rely only on the fragments of what you remember from this moment. Child, I wish you could see what I see now. If you stood beside me in this moment, you would see the battlefield that stretches between where you are and where God intends to place you. It is not a battlefield of swords and blood, but of choices, voices, and moments that appear small but carry the weight of entire destinies. I see hands reaching for you. Some are hands that would lift you higher than you've ever been, and others are hands that would pull you into waters too deep to stand in. We are here to make sure you do not take the wrong hand. That is why 2 archangels came. It is not only protection, it is intervention. Heaven moves like this only when time is shorter than you think. And I tell you, 9 minutes is not a poetic phrase, it is the measure of how long this opening will remain before it shifts into something less gentle. Do you feel that warmth rising in your chest as you read this? That is us. We are close enough now that your spirit feels the edge of our wings. This is the place where heaven touches earth, where the unseen becomes felt, even if not yet visible. You may have wondered why certain thoughts or memories have been circling you these past hours. That was us, pressing them into your mind so you would be ready to understand this moment. We know you have been distracted, burdened, and maybe even doubting that prayers work the way you've been told. But beloved, prayers are not coins thrown into an empty well. They are keys, and you have been turning them in locks without realizing the doors they belong to. Tonight, one of those doors is swinging open. This message is not the door, it is the hand pulling you across the threshold. I need you to understand what is truly at risk here. The 2 of us have been tracing the paths of people connected to you, some near and some far. There is one, in particular, who has been moving closer with intentions not wrapped in truth. They appear harmless, they speak kindly, they smile easily, they know how to make their words sound safe. But what they carry in their heart is not what their voice says aloud. This is the kind of danger that most people cannot see until it's too late. That is why you have us. Without this warning, you might step into an agreement, a meeting, or even a conversation that will set your life on a different course for years to come. That is not fear speaking, that is fact. And if you stay with me until the end, I will tell you what to look for so you will know them when they appear, no matter how convincing they try to be. You might ask, why me? Why such urgency over one person's path? And I will tell you plainly, because your life carries more weight than you have allowed yourself to believe. You do not just exist for yourself. The choices you make ripple into lives you do not even know yet. There are people whose breakthroughs are tied to your faithfulness. There are children who will learn courage because you chose not to give up. There are destinies written in the ink of your name that require you to stand where you are called to stand. This is why darkness fights you so hard. This is why it sends people who look like friends but move like thieves. And this is why heaven sometimes sends more than one guardian to surround you. You are not just a person living in this moment. You are a keystone in a design that stretches beyond what your eyes can see. I will tell you something I am not permitted to say often: there are meetings in heaven about you. Yes, about you, specifically. There have been times when God has spoken your name in the presence of angels and sent them into motion on your behalf. You may think your prayers have been small, but they reached Him. You may think your tears were forgotten, but they were collected. You may think your mistakes disqualified you, but grace has been speaking louder than every accusation against you. And now, because of those choices to keep walking, even when you stumbled, the moment has come for a divine pivot. This message is that pivot. That is why you feel this strange mix of peace and urgency right now. It is heaven aligning your heart to move in step with what is coming. And here is what you must hold on to: the 9 minutes are not about fear, they are about precision. There are windows in the Spirit that open and close, and when they open, everything you need to move forward flows more easily. When they close, the same journey becomes harder, heavier, slower. We are here to keep you in that open window. But I must tell you, if you walk away now, the path will not vanish, but it will be harder. That is why we are pleading. That is why this is the last attempt for now. Heaven's patience is endless, but timing is not. What is meant for this moment must be received in this moment. Beloved, I want you to lean into this now as if you were leaning into the arms of someone you trust with your whole life. Let the noise around you fade. Let the doubts that rise in your mind be quieted by the fact that you are still here, still reading, still feeling the pull to stay. That pull is us. It is not random. It is not imagination. It is the echo of heaven's heartbeat for you. And if you will allow it, we will not only warn you, we will guide you to the very place where the next blessing is waiting. But the choice is yours, and the minutes are passing. Child, you must know, the air around you is already shifting. Even as you read, the atmosphere of your life is changing because 2 archangels are in movement. We are not bound by the same distance as your world, we move at the speed of divine thought. But every second you linger here with us strengthens the shield over you. We see the threads being pulled by unseen hands, some trying to weave blessings around you, others trying to unravel what has been built. This is why heaven has been pressing this message toward you again and again. The closer we move, the more the resistance stirs. You may have noticed strange emotions rising in the last few hours, sudden heaviness, memories of old wounds, even random irritations. That is not coincidence. That is distraction. It is meant to pull you away from hearing this in full. Because if you hear it all, you will be able to break the cycle they are counting on to keep you still. Beloved, there is something you have been praying for, or maybe you stopped calling it prayer because it hurt too much to hope for it anymore. But we have seen it, kept it, carried it before God more than once. You thought heaven was silent about it, but in truth, it has been gathering weight, like a cloud holding rain until the ground is ready to receive it. That readiness is what we are speaking into now. You cannot receive something meant for a prepared heart if your focus is fractured. That is why this message matters so much. There is a delivery in motion toward you, not of paper or coin, but of favor, connection, and divine opening, and it has been time to land in the same moment that something meant to confuse you was also set to arrive. 2 packages in the same hour, one sent from heaven, one sent from shadow. This is the reason for the urgency. We do not want you to sign for the wrong one. You might think, how would I know the difference? That is why we are speaking now. The thing sent against you will look easier, faster, more instantly satisfying. It will appeal to your impatience, to the part of you tired of waiting. The thing sent for you will carry peace even if it requires patience, will hold truth even if it asks for courage. The counterfeit will flatter you, the real will honor you. In these 9 minutes, if you hold this in your spirit, you will recognize the difference without hesitation. But if you rush past this moment, the lines will blur, and what was meant to be your season of forward movement could be delayed by months, even years. This is not fear, this is clarity. Heaven's way is not to threaten but to reveal. Do you remember the last time you felt this kind of pull, this knowing that something was speaking directly to you? You might have ignored it then, told yourself it was just your mind. But what happened afterward confirmed you should have listened. That memory is not here to shame you, it is here to remind you that your spirit already knows the sound of truth. We are speaking in that same tone now. We want you to choose to listen this time. Not out of guilt, but because you deserve to walk the path that was written for you without unnecessary detours. We are not here to watch you stumble through what we could have helped you avoid. We are here to keep you on the high road, the one that leads to the joy you have not dared to imagine lately. And, child, I must tell you this, there are names being spoken about you even now. In rooms you are not in, people are deciding how to approach you, what to offer you, and in some cases, how to block you. Some speak from love, others from envy. We have been intercepting words, bending the plans of those who do not wish you well, turning them into harmless wind. But there is one plan that requires your awareness, not just our defense. If you step into it blindly, it will pull you into agreements that bind more than they bless. This is the moment to see it before it arrives. That is why 2 of us are here, one to guard, one to guide. My companion is already watching the person connected to this plan. I am here to watch you, to keep you from walking into the meeting they are setting up in the days to come. You may think I am speaking in riddles, but in time you will see the details. I am giving you the frame now so you will recognize the picture when it appears. That recognition will be your escape. Without it, you might feel pressured, cornered, unsure. With it, you will walk away without fear, and what was meant to bind you will lose its power entirely. That is the kind of moment that changes the trajectory of years. That is what we are fighting for in these 9 minutes. And I must say this, if you have ever wondered whether you are worth this kind of attention from heaven, let this be your answer. The Creator does not send 2 of His messengers without cause. You are worth the effort. You are worth the defense. You are worth the interruption in the flow of everything else so that your life remains aligned with the blessing He intends. This is not because you have done everything right, but because you are loved without condition. That is why we will keep speaking until you hear us, and why I am asking you now to stay. Not because I need you to, but because you need you to. My beloved, listen closely now. Time is narrowing. The seconds are not just passing, they are pressing in on this moment like a door slowly closing. We are still here, still speaking, but I can already feel the pressure of what waits beyond this hour. It is not to harm you if you hear and act, it is only dangerous if you drift away thinking there will be another chance exactly like this one. This message is rare. The alignment of heaven and earth in this moment is rare. The presence of 2 archangels for a single soul in a single hour is rare. And when something rare appears, it is because it is needed. You may think you have seen everything in your life, survived enough storms, learned enough lessons, but there is a depth to God's protection you have not yet experienced, and that is what is opening before you now. Child, we see the roads ahead of you. They branch like rivers, some flowing into light, others into shadows disguised as shelter. Without this warning, you might choose the wrong current, not out of recklessness, but because it looks familiar, safe. That is how traps are built, to resemble comfort, to imitate blessing. But what is false can only hold its shape for so long. When it collapses, it takes pieces of the heart with it. I am here to keep that from happening. My companion is here to stand between you and the one who would offer you that false shelter. But you must be awake when the moment comes, and you must remember these words: peace will never pressure you, love will never demand your silence, and truth will never hide in half-light. Do you feel that stirring within you? That mix of caution and courage? That is the Spirit confirming what you already sensed but did not want to admit, that something has been approaching your life quietly, dressed in the right colors but carrying the wrong heart. We have been slowing its steps, diverting its path, but it has found another way forward. This is why our voices are louder now. It will come soon, perhaps as a conversation, perhaps as a sudden offer. You will recognize it because it will ask you to act quickly without giving you space to pray. Anything that refuses the presence of God in its decision-making is not sent by Him. Hold to that, and you will not fall. Beloved, I must tell you something even deeper. There is a moment in your future, I see it as clearly as the sun, where the blessing you have been asking for will stand directly in front of you. It will not be wrapped in glitter, it will be wrapped in peace. You may almost miss it because it will feel too still, too gentle compared to the noise you have grown used to. But that is how heaven delivers, without chaos, without confusion, without chains disguised as gifts. I want you to be able to see it when it comes, to choose it without hesitation. That is why I am asking you to let this message sink deeper than your mind. Let it live in your spirit, where memory cannot erase it. I know you have questions. I know part of you wants the exact details, the exact name, the exact hour. But heaven does not always reveal in full before the time, because part of your growth is learning to trust the signs. And you will see them. One will be in the eyes. The person who is not for you will not meet your gaze with the same ease when you speak the name of God. Another will be in the pace. What is false will rush, what is real will give room. Keep these in your heart, and you will walk safely. Child, hear this, we have been with you longer than you know. Some of your narrow escapes in the past, you thought were luck. They were not. They were interventions. The day you missed the meeting that later turned out to be harmful, the phone call that came just in time to change your route, the sudden idea to stay home, these were not coincidences. That was us. And if you let us, we will continue to stand like this, guarding the edges of your path. But there are moments, like this one, when your agreement is the key that keeps the shield in place. Heaven honors your choice, always. Even now, you are choosing by staying here. And beloved, I must say this before the 9 minutes are gone, you are not behind. I know it has felt like you have been late, like others have moved ahead while you were stuck. But in truth, God has been holding you back from certain roads because He knew they would end in harm. You were not delayed, you were preserved. This is why when your moment comes, it will not be a slow climb, it will be a sudden lifting. What you thought would take years will happen in days. That is the nature of divine timing. It makes up for every lost season. It redeems every missed opportunity. It restores what you thought was gone forever. I can see the restoration forming already. It will come in 2 parts, one will touch your heart, the other your hands. Your heart will be healed in a place you have stopped touching because it hurt too much. Your hands will be filled with something you thought belonged to someone else, but was always meant for you. This is not a dream, it is a plan already written. Our task is to make sure you reach the place where you can hold it without fear. And you will. I believe it because I have already seen it. So, my child, my beloved, hold steady. Keep this moment in front of you. Do not let the noise, the fear, or the shadows take it from you. We are here. God is here. And you are safe as long as you stay in His light. The minutes may be passing, but eternity has already marked this as the day your path shifted toward the fullness of what you were made for. Walk in that knowing. And when the moment arrives, you will smile, because you will remember, you were warned, you were loved, and you were ready. My beloved, if you could only see the vision that is before me right now, you would understand why my voice carries both tenderness and command. It is as if I am standing on a high place, looking down at 2 roads stretching out before you, and the air is trembling with the weight of your next choice. The road on the left is lined with promises that sparkle at a distance but dissolve the closer you step. It calls to you with the voice of convenience, telling you that what you desire can be taken without process, without patience, without prayer. But behind those gates is a garden that cannot grow anything lasting, because its soil is poisoned with deception. The road on the right looks quieter, less decorated, perhaps even overlooked by others. But in its stillness is the song of heaven. Every step you take on it strengthens you instead of draining you. And though it asks you to trust without seeing all the details, it leads you directly into the place you have been crying for in secret. This is why we are here, child, because the voices calling you toward the wrong gate have grown louder, and we will not watch you be drawn away without speaking truth into your ear. Do you know that there are more eyes on you than you think? Not all are hostile, not all are kind, but all are watching. Some are waiting for you to rise because they know your rising will open doors for them. Others are waiting for you to stumble because they cannot bear the thought of your light outshining their own. We have been in the rooms where your name was spoken. We have stood unseen in conversations where plans were made about you without your consent. And every time a word was spoken with the intent to harm or limit you, we caught it, we cut it, we turned it aside. But there is one plan still moving forward, because it requires your cooperation to be completed, and that is what we are here to prevent. The moment it is presented to you, you will have the power to accept or refuse. And your refusal will not just protect you, it will dismantle the network behind it. This is why you have felt tension in the air lately. Why certain people who once felt safe now feel slightly off, as if there's a hidden edge to their smile. Your spirit has been reading what your mind has not yet named. That discomfort is not paranoia, it is discernment. Heaven has been stirring it within you so that when the critical moment comes, you will recognize the choice before you. My companion, the other Archangel, has been guarding the space where this interaction is being prepared. I have been tasked with guarding your heart so that when the invitation comes, it does not appeal to the parts of you still healing. Because the danger is not just in the wrong opportunity, it is in the way it can connect to unhealed places, making you believe you need it when you do not. Child, your value is greater than you have allowed yourself to believe. You have been told you are strong, yes, but you have not yet grasped the truth that you are strategic. Heaven's plans for others are tied to your movement, and that makes you a target for both good and evil. The enemy is not interested in people who cannot shift the atmosphere, but you, my beloved, shift it without even trying. This is why we defend you so fiercely. This is why you have been through storms that would have drowned others. And this is why, in this exact moment, two archangels stand beside you, speaking with one voice. There is also something I must tell you that will bring comfort. You have not missed your moment. I know you have felt late, as if the season for your breakthrough passed while you were distracted or struggling. But God's timing is not fragile. What He has for you cannot be stolen if you remain aligned with Him. You are not behind, you are on the exact step that leads to the opening prepared for you. And when it comes, it will make sense why certain doors closed before. Those were not rejections, they were redirections. We closed them ourselves, because walking through them would have led you into a place where your gifts were used but your soul was drained. And here is a truth you must hold on to: what is ahead of you will require courage, but it will not require compromise. There is a difference. Courage will ask you to step forward even when you feel unsure. Compromise will ask you to bend in ways that weaken who you are. The path of God will strengthen your identity, not strip it. The false path will flatter your ego but hollow out your spirit. This is how you will know. Remember this when the choice arrives, because it will arrive soon, sooner than you think. You may be wondering how much longer you must wait, how many more signs you must see before you step into the life you have been praying for. I will tell you this: the waiting is not as long as it feels. The heaviness you feel is not from delay but from transition. You are like someone standing on a shore, watching the tide pull far back, not realizing it is gathering strength to return as a wave. The wave is coming. And when it reaches you, it will carry you further than you could walk on your own in years. This is why we are guarding this moment so closely, because the tide is about to turn, and we do not want you distracted when it does. Child, I need you to do something for me now. Place your hand over your heart, even as you read this. Feel the rhythm. That is the beat of a story still being written, and you are not at its end. Every beat is a declaration that heaven is not finished with you. Every breath is an agreement between your body and your calling. And as long as you live, the plans written over your life still stand. No betrayal, no loss, no mistake can erase them. They can be delayed, yes, but never destroyed. That is why we fight for you, because the assignment on your life is still active. Now listen, when this message ends, I want you to carry it with you as if it were a living thing. Return to it in your thoughts. Let it be the lens through which you look at every invitation, every voice, every opportunity in the coming days. If it brings peace, aligns with truth, and makes space for God, it is safe. If it brings pressure, demands secrecy, or avoids the light, it is not for you. This is the filter heaven is giving you. Use it, and you will walk unharmed. The 9 minutes may be almost gone, but what matters most is that you are here, you are listening, and you are ready. My beloved, you are not alone. You are not unprotected. And you are not unprepared. The moment will come, and you will stand in it without fear, because you have been warned, you have been loved, and you have been chosen. My beloved, I see that you are still here, and that alone moves heaven. Many hear the call but drift away when the words become too close to the truth they have been avoiding. But you have stayed. And because you have stayed, I can now open more of what I was sent to tell you. This is not just a warning, it is also a release. The reason for our urgency is not only what approaches in shadow but what is already on its way in light. 2 arrivals, almost side by side. One sent to bind you, one sent to bless you. Without this moment, you might not know which is which. But when the hour comes, your spirit will recognize the difference, because you will remember the voice that told you beforehand. Child, there are seasons when the battle over a person's life becomes more intense, not because they have done something wrong, but because they are closer to stepping into something right. You are in such a season now. It is not a random storm, it is targeted resistance. The enemy does not waste effort on those who pose no threat to his plans. And you, my beloved, threaten him simply by being who you are. Your light disrupts things in the unseen. Your prayers dismantle structures you do not even know exist. Your very presence shifts the atmosphere of rooms you enter. That is why you have been opposed. That is why certain relationships have turned cold without explanation. That is why, in recent days, you have felt a strange mix of exhaustion and expectation, as if part of you is weary, yet another part is bracing for something new. That is your spirit sensing the turning. I want you to understand something essential. There is nothing wrong with you for feeling the weight of this moment. The pressure you feel is not proof that you are weak, it is proof that you are carrying something significant. Even the strongest hands feel the strain when they hold something valuable. And you, child, are holding more than you know. That is why heaven has stationed us here, two guardians side by side. One of us has been placed ahead of you, clearing the road of traps you cannot see. The other stands beside you now, speaking these words, steadying your heart, making sure you do not step aside from the path that is opening. And here is a truth I must give you plainly: the wrong choice in the coming days will not destroy you, but it will delay you. It will place you in a detour that feels endless, and though heaven will still guide you back, you will lose time that could have been spent in the place you were meant to be. I do not tell you this to frighten you, I tell you this so you will walk with eyes open. Because when the counterfeit arrives, it will look polished, impressive, even divinely arranged. But if you look closely, you will see the cracks. It will appeal to your need for speed, not your longing for peace. It will flatter but not edify. And deep down, you will feel a small but certain unease. Trust that unease. It is heaven's whisper. The blessing, on the other hand, will not fight for your attention. It will wait. It will stand in light, not shadows. And though it may not be dressed in the grandness you imagined, it will carry the presence of God so strongly that your spirit will rest in it instantly. That is the moment I want for you. That is the meeting we are guarding. And that is why these minutes matter so much. Because awareness is your shield, and once you have it, no imitation can deceive you. Child, you must also know that there are prayers you prayed years ago that are only now reaching their appointed time of answer. Heaven never forgot them. They have been waiting, like seeds in the ground, for the right season. And I tell you, the season is now. The soil has shifted. The rain has come. The sprouting will be sudden. You will look around and see things moving into place that you could not have arranged if you tried. This is not coincidence, this is orchestration. And the conductor is the one who called you by name before the foundations of the world. I must remind you also of this: you are not defined by the battles you have fought, but by the victories that followed. Some of those victories were quiet, unseen by others, but they were no less real. Every time you chose kindness over revenge, faith over fear, prayer over silence, those were wins in the eyes of heaven. And they have built a record over your life, a record that speaks for you even when you cannot speak for yourself. That record is part of why we defend you so fiercely. It is why heaven invests in your protection. And it is why the enemy is desperate to distract you now, because he knows you are closer to a breakthrough than you have ever been. Beloved, if I could place my hands on your face right now, I would tell you to lift your head. I would tell you to breathe, slowly, deeply, and to know that you are safe. Not because there is no danger, but because the God who commands angels has assigned them to you. We are not here by accident. We are here because you are precious. And precious things are protected. When the moments ahead unfold, remember this conversation. Remember that heaven warned you, prepared you, and equipped you. You will not be caught unaware. You will not be taken where you cannot be found. You will walk forward, and the light will be with you. And when you look back, you will see that this was not just a warning, it was the beginning of the shift you have been praying for all along. My beloved, do you know what I see when I look at you right now? I see someone who has been walking with a quiet strength, even in the seasons where you felt invisible. You have faced moments when you wanted to stop, when the weight on your chest made it hard to take the next step, and yet you did. You moved forward, even if it was only an inch at a time. And heaven saw it. We saw it. Every single time you chose to keep going when it would have been easier to give up, you were marking yourself as one who could be trusted with more. That is why we are here now. Not to simply warn you, but to walk you into the next chapter of your life, the chapter you prayed for when no one was listening. Child, the hours ahead of you carry two possibilities. In one, you take the invitation that looks sweet but leads to sorrow. In the other, you step into the opening that feels quiet but leads to blessing. Both are on their way. This is not a vague warning, it is a precise moment coming into view. That is why the Father sent both of us, two archangels, instead of one. One is moving ahead to dismantle what has been set up against you, while I remain with you to ensure your heart and mind are steady enough to choose the right path when it appears. You will know the false path by the way it feels rushed, as if it cannot wait for you to think or pray. You will feel a subtle pressure in your spirit, not loud, not screaming, but a faint tightening that says something is off. Trust that feeling. That is the voice of discernment, the whisper of the Spirit. Do not ignore it. If you pause, if you breathe, if you call on the name of God in that moment, the truth will be revealed quickly. You will see what you could not see at first glance. And you will walk away without regret. The true path will come without that inner strain. It will feel like a door you can walk through without forcing it open. It will bring a stillness to your spirit, even if it challenges you. This is how heaven works, peace is our signature. It may not look as grand, it may not arrive with fanfare, but it will carry a weight in your soul that says, "This is safe." When it comes, step into it boldly. That is where your answered prayers live. That is where restoration waits. Child, we have been fighting for this moment for longer than you realize. There have been times when the enemy's hand was closer than you knew, but we stood in the space between you and the harm. We blocked words, delayed meetings, broke connections you thought were rejections but were really protections. Some of the things you cried over losing would have destroyed you if you had kept them. We are not here to take from you, we are here to make sure what stays in your life is worthy of you. And what is coming is worthy. You may wonder why this message comes with such urgency. It is because timing matters. In the spiritual realm, windows open and close. A blessing received in its season brings joy and abundance. That same blessing received out of season can bring confusion. The alignment you are walking into now has been arranged carefully, piece by piece, and it is ready. That is why the shadow also moves now, to catch you at the door and pull you in another direction. But we will not let that happen, not if you stay awake, not if you keep these words in front of you. I want you to remember something from your past. A time when you felt a nudge to do or not do something, and you listened, and afterward, you saw why it mattered. That same inner knowing is alive in you now, stronger than before. We are feeding it with clarity, strengthening it with this message so that when the hour comes, you will not hesitate. You will know, and you will move. Beloved, I must also tell you about the blessing that follows your obedience. When you choose the right door, what waits for you on the other side is not just for you. It will overflow into the lives of those connected to you. Your family, your friends, even people you have not yet met will feel the impact of the decision you are about to make. This is bigger than your comfort. It is about legacy, influence, and the shaping of futures you cannot see yet. You are not alone in this. The Father's hand is on you. His angels surround you. And even now, as these words enter your spirit, the enemy's grip is loosening. The false path is losing its power to disguise itself. The light is getting brighter, and soon, you will stand at the crossing with full sight. When you do, remember this: peace is the proof. Anything that requires you to sacrifice your peace is not from God. And anything from God will protect your dignity, strengthen your spirit, and draw you closer to Him, not further away. Let this be your guide, and you will not miss your moment. The minutes may be slipping away, but eternity has already marked this as the hour you were warned, prepared, and positioned for what comes next. My beloved, you are ready. And when it happens, you will know, heaven was here, and heaven did not fail you. My beloved, you have stayed, and in staying you have agreed to let heaven finish what it began in you. Do you feel that? The stillness under the urgency? That is not contradiction, that is alignment. The urgency is because the window is narrow. The stillness is because God already knows you will step into the right moment. We see you, not as you see yourself in fragments, but as you truly are, whole, radiant, carrying a light that has survived storms no one else could have endured without breaking. That is why the shadow moves against you now. Not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to the darkness simply by living in the truth. The other archangel with me, the one who rarely leaves the front lines, has not taken his eyes off the one moving toward you in disguise. I can see the way they are preparing their words, rehearsing their smile, crafting the perfect moment to approach you. They believe they will catch you off guard, but they do not know you are already being fortified from within. They do not know that the Spirit has already begun drawing boundaries around you like lines of fire. When they stand before you, they will feel the difference, even if they cannot name it. Something in them will hesitate, because light always exposes shadow. You may be tempted to think, why all this protection? Why would heaven send two to guard me in this season? And the answer is simple, child, because the chapter you are about to step into is not a small one. It is a season of establishment. This is where the promises you have carried as whispers in your heart become visible for others to see. And that visibility will draw both those who are for you and those who are not. We are here to make sure that the wrong ones cannot plant themselves near you in the moment of your rising. I will tell you now how you will recognize the counterfeit. It will appeal to your impatience. It will flatter the parts of you still healing. It will offer ease at the cost of your clarity. And while it will look like it gives, it will take far more. You will feel it in the silence between their words. You will see it in the way they avoid the name of God when speaking of the future. Hold this knowing close, because when that moment comes, it will not announce itself as danger, it will announce itself as opportunity. The real blessing will come with no hidden edges. It will not demand more than it gives. It will not rush you. And when you sit in its presence, your soul will exhale. That is the sign. That is the moment to say yes. I see something else for you, something that will arrive only days after this choice is made. A door that has been locked for years will open without you even touching the handle. It will feel as though it swung open by itself, but in truth, we have been unlocking it for months, removing obstacles one by one until nothing remained to hold it shut. Through that door is not just one answer to prayer, but the alignment of many, people, places, resources, and timing all converging in a way only heaven could arrange. Do not doubt your readiness. The very fact that you have stayed with me this far is proof you are able to carry what is coming. Doubt will try to whisper that you are not worthy, that it will not last, that you are only being set up for disappointment. Ignore it. Doubt is always loudest right before destiny is revealed. And when the moment comes, you will not only choose well, you will stand in it without fear. Because you were warned. Because you were loved. Because heaven would not stop calling your name until you heard.